Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today we're talking about vocoders and I'm going to show you how you can go from this.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets as long as you understand.
To this.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets as long as you understand that I will run with you till we're falling.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about vocoders and how you can make them sound as big as the preview. What we're starting with is this vocal. And what is very important is that it's a dry vocal, because we're going to use this vocal as our sidechain input for the vocoder. And if there's reverb and delays on this vocal, the vocoder will also react on the reverb and delays. And that tends to get a bit nasty and doesn't sound as clean. So it's very important that you're using a dry vocal. I'm using this vocal. It's from a new upcoming song. More info on that soon. I've put a little reverb on the vocal, but it's a dry vocal. And then what's also very important is that we have some nice chords. So the vocal with the chords together sound like this.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets.
All right, so what we're going to do, I'll remove all these vocal synths. We're going to start with a MIDI controlled effect. And today we're using the Isotope Vocal Synth 2. What we'll start with is put the sidechain input, put it on Vox. This is our vocal. And we put it into MIDI mode. You can go over here. It has auto, MIDI, and sidechain mode. We put it in MIDI mode. If you're unsure how to do this, it will tell you right here as well. And we'll copy this 6 times. And on the first 5, we'll put our chords. And we'll start with the first one. The first one is going to be the basic vocoder. We'll put it on hard mode. You can also put it on smooth. But the vintage one is a bit too deep for the sound that we're going for. So we'll just put it on vocoder.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets as long.
Already sounds pretty good. And what we'll do, we'll hard pen this one to the left. So it will sound like this.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand.
Now we'll go into the second vocal synth and we put this on BioVox. Let's listen.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets as long as you understand that I will run with you till we're falling.
Okay, we can hear a couple of low clicks in there, so we'll remove those with an EQ.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never.
And we'll hard pen this one to the right.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets as long as you understand.
All right, we'll go into our third vocoder. And for this one, we'll use the computer Vox. Let's listen.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have it.
And we'll do like half a pen to the left here.
Taste my cigarette.
Then we go to the fourth vocoder. We'll use Talkbox for this one. And we'll put this one, let me do a stereo pen, to the right.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets as long.
And as you can hear, this is already giving a pretty full sound. These two are a bit nasty, so I'll put these a little lower in volume. Then for the fifth one, we're just going to use the vocoder. There's a couple of cool presets in here as well. You can go to classic. Let's try Flight of the Angels.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets as long as you understand that I will run with you till we're falling every night.
So for this one, you can get creative. I'll just use simple vocoder for this
Taste
one.
my cigarette if you let me hold your hand.
And this one we'll keep in the middle. So right now it sounds like this.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never.
The middle one is a little loud, so I'll put that down in volume.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, cause we'll never have regrets.
All right, that's pretty cool in my opinion. Now for the last layer, we'll make a bass layer. And we'll just use the bass notes. Let's listen. All right, let's go into MIDI mode. Let's go an octave lower. Let's try hard mode. Okay, we'll keep it on vintage because in those other two modes you can hear the vocal coming through a bit. So we'll shift it up a bit. And what we'll do with this one, we'll put a bit crusher on there. And we'll put some overdrive on top. Okay, now we're going to slowly mix this in with the rest of the vocoders.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, 'cause we'll never have regrets as long as you understand that I will run with you till we're falling.
So, basic vocoder sounds like this.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand.
All the vocoders combined sound like this.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, 'cause we'll never have regrets as long as you...
Sounds pretty cool in my opinion. So what we can do, we can also use an extra layer from the Logic stock vocoder. There's this cool preset called Open Heaven, and that sounds like this. I think I also adjusted the stereo width a bit on this one, and we can add that one as well. Now, what we're going to do, we'll put all these vocoders into a bus that I already prepared, and we put some processing on it. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll put a de-esser on top, and the de-esser is taking away some of the harder S's and T's and frequencies that are popping out. What is important is that you put it on all around, otherwise it will look for a vocal, and well, this is not a real vocal, it's more like a synth. Let's listen what it's doing.
As long as you understand that I will run with you till we're falling.
Okay, makes it a bit smoother, takes away some of those annoying harsh frequencies. Now, sometimes when there's a hard transient in the vocal, you can hear that in the vocoder as well. So we're taking away all the attack. We don't really need the attack. The attack is already in the vocal, and we don't need it in our vocoder as well. So we're taking away the attack. Now, we're using an EQ, taking away the low end, because we don't really need that. We don't need the sub bass. And we don't need the high tops. Those can get annoying as well in the vocoder, so we're taking away this as well. Okay, now the ozone imager. And with this imager, we're making the vocoder wider. We put it on stereoize, put the milliseconds a bit up. I think the stock is on 6, but we'll put it at 8.5, something like that. And then this mid band and this mid high band, we push that wider. We're not pushing this really high band wider because those high frequencies can get really nasty if you push them wider. So we'll just keep it at those two bands. I'll let you hear the before and after with what we just did. So this is before. This is after. If you have some good speakers or headphones on, you can hear that it's wider. Now let's put some OTT on there. We'll only do downward compression at 17%. It's not a precise thing. You can do it at 10, maybe 20, just to use some easy compression on the vocoder. Okay, next thing, we're putting a reverb on top of the vocoder to smooth it out a bit. And the last thing, we're putting soothe on there. I'll show you what it's taking away. It's taking away some of those harsh resonating frequencies, and it's just making the overall thing way smoother. So this is without processing. And now with. Now together with the vocal, it sounds like this.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, 'cause we'll never have it.
Now, sometimes the vocal gets pushed away by the vocoder a bit, and there's a really nice plugin that we can use for this. This plugin is called Track Spacer by Waves Factory, and what we'll do, we'll put the vocal as the sidechain input, and what it does is basically a sidechain compressor, but it's only ducking the frequencies where the vocal is playing, and I'll show it to you, and you can also see it. This is an EQ, here's the lows, here are the highs, and the mids are in between. And you can actually see the vocal, and it's only pushing away the frequencies where the vocal is playing.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, 'cause we'll never.
Now, the vocoder is barely hearable right now because 50% is pretty aggressive, so we'll turn this down a bit.
Taste my cigarette if you let me hold your hand, 'cause we'll never have regrets as long as you understand that I will run with you till we're falling.
And so this way we're making a bit more space for the vocal, and the vocoder is not pushing away our vocal, which is the main element. Okay guys, this was my take on the vocoders. I know there's a couple of tutorials online showing you how to make vocoders. I added some extras, I added my processing afterwards. I also added my trick with the bass line. Hope you guys found that interesting, hope you guys learned something. If you liked it, please let me know. Like, subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, and I'll see you in the next video.